Three, two, one. Hello and welcome to the Avanti Entrepreneur Show. I'm Dave Bomano, your host. We get together once a week where I strive to bring you the nation's just greatest, most cutting edge and exciting entrepreneurs that not only willing to share their successes and their wins, but also share the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship. We all have the crash and learn story. Today I have on the show, I have a great guest who is currently in Las Vegas, because that's just where she is at this moment. But she's originally from Rochester. Don't ask her where she's moving next. She's let's just say that you like adventure, right? And seeing different parts of the country. We can leave it at that. My guest today is Heather Saffer. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, David, for having me.
Oh, I really appreciate it. I'm really excited. I've been following you. You're from Rochester, and it's been great to see your success. We're going to talk more in detail, but you've been really kind of a cool Rochester success story with your original cupcake business. You went on Shark Tank, but you're moving on to do even more exciting things, and you're the true definition of an entrepreneur, right? Just needing to put more water through your gills to continue the excitement and adventure and making an impact. So we're gonna talk about all of that. And you've got a great, vibrant personality. I've been watching your videos, following you. Very compelling, very exciting. And I think what makes it exciting is not only you're outgoing and friendly and funny, but you truly care. You truly have passion around your purpose, and it really comes through. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to read your bio, and then we're gonna dive into your story. How does that sound?
It sounds good. Thank you for all the compliments.
Absolutely. Just don't get too big of a head. All right, but all right. Heather Saffer is the founder of Dollop Gourmet, a better-for-you dessert company that produces vegan and gluten-free, lower-sugar frostings sold in major retailers around the country. Heather graduated from SUNY Brockport with a degree in psychology and got her entrepreneurial start as the founder of the nation's first create-your-own cupcake bakery. Heather has demonstrated success by winning the Food Network's Cupcake Wars, getting multiple offers on ABC's Shark Tank, showcasing her products on QVC, and authoring 2 best-selling cookbooks, the Dollop Book of Frosting, which is a Simon & Schuster book, and also the Crazy Easy Vegan Desserts. And so 2 great books. As a successful entrepreneur and a self-taught baker, Heather has been featured in Forbes, People Magazine, Huffington Post, USA Today, Inc. Magazine, Oprah, Hallmark Channel, Steve Harvey Show, and Sirius XM. Heather sold the Dollop Gourmet in 2019 to Mimic Glaze Limited, an international leader in the gourmet icing industry. Heather's current focus is on helping leaders and entrepreneurs through her speaking and coaching business, along with pursuing her passion of raising money for rescue animals with her artwork on heatheranddonald.com. How exciting. And Heather, I mean, if most people listen to this podcast, like I say 99%, but we do the video version as well in case people want to see it on YouTube. If they're looking at you, if they're watching this podcast, they're seeing that you are very young, right? And reading this, you might think like, wow, she's done a lot. What is she, 60, right? I mean, this is like a great bio, right? So you've done a lot in a short amount of time, and I'm really excited to hear your journey. So you went to high school, and then you went to the State University of New York at Brockport, where you studied psychology, which of course would lead to making cupcakes, right? And so tell us the journey, how you first open up the doors into your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, first of all, I don't feel that young, so thank you. But I graduated high school, and I didn't go right to college. Actually, I got into college. I got into the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and I decided I wasn't going to go. So instead, I moved out when I was 18 and got an apartment and worked random jobs, a lot of random jobs. I had like 30 plus jobs over the course of a few years. And I didn't wind up going to college until I was 21, I think. So that was a journey of exploration. And then after college, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I was working at a car dealership trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And
were you selling cars?
I was not selling cars. I was the cashier.
Okay. All right.
So I was just checking people.
You were like Jan from the Toyota dealerships.
I don't know who Jan is.
Yeah, she's
But
that woman on all those Toyota commercials. That friendly woman that says, yeah, it just says hello to everybody. So that was you. You were her.
that was me. Yeah. Yeah. I was just ringing people up for their car repairs.
Okay.
So I was trying to like figure out what I was gonna do. So
And you're like what, 20, maybe 24, 25 at this point?
Yeah, I think I was probably 24, 25.
Hmm?
And I think I just started researching different businesses because, if you've had over 30 jobs, you realize you're a terrible employee. And so I was like, let me see, maybe I can start my own business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was researching businesses and I learned that cupcakes were becoming popular. And so I thought, I like eating cupcakes. Maybe I could make cupcakes, even though I had never really baked before. So I taught myself how to bake, and it just kind of took off from there.
So, so what'd you do? You went in your home kitchen and just started making cupcakes, and what happened from there? Did you just start selling them at like festivals and markets and things like that?
So I didn't start selling them because in Monroe County, there's no cottage laws, so you're not allowed to sell from home, unfortunately. So I started baking from home, and I would just sample them out because I didn't even know if I could bake at this point. Like I had never baked before. So I would bring them to the gym and give them to the personal trainers, and I'd send them with my boyfriend to his work and just give them out to find out if I was any good.
That was your own version of market research.
Yeah, pretty much. And it turned out well. Apparently I was good at it. And so then I started just kind of reaching out to other places and doing some like donation based cupcakes for events to really start to get the name out there. My name, no one knew who I was. And so I was doing that until I actually approached the news station and kind of told them my story and wanted to see if I could get on the air. And that's when it really took off. And I was able to rent space inside a bakery kitchen. And it's a long story. I'm just trying to compress it.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of a cool story. I assume you were working another full-time job to bring money in while you were giving away these cupcakes, doing your rustic market research, right?
Yeah, I was still that cashier at the car dealership.
Okay. Yeah. I love how you decided to give it to, the personal trainer at the gym, right? Like he's probably like, I only eat, salads, but I'll try your cup. If he liked it, right, then anybody, right? Well, how was that first batch? Was it not great and then you just got better and better based on feedback?
No, I think the first batch was good. Like it actually, and I'm saying this because I've never been good at anything. And so this is why I pursued it, is because that first batch was good. It happened to be something I was naturally good at. And I was like, I've never found anything I'm good at. If I don't go with this, I might never find something I'm good at again. And what am I going to do then? Like I was the person that in high school, I tried out for the basketball team, the volleyball team, the cheerleading squad, like every team I could. I auditioned for the school play. Like I made nothing. I couldn't make anything. So when I found something I was naturally good at, I was like, I better run with this because there might not be another thing.
You're kind of like an accidental entrepreneur.
Yeah, probably I'd say that.
You heard about that cupcakes are a trend. Let me try to make some cupcakes, and wow, I'm in my zone of genius.
Yeah, but it was for sake of not knowing what else to do. I was just at the end of the road.
What did your parents and your friends think about you? You're 20, in your mid-20s, went to college, and you're a receptionist at a car dealership. Are people like, I wonder, I'm thinking that you have this great personality that I'm sure you had back then as well. I'm thinking that people thought she's just got to find her groove and things are going to take off. Do you think that was the impression people had about you?
I hope so. I had a lot of problems. Like when I was a teenager, I had severe depression and anxiety. I was hospitalized for a bit. And then when I was about 21, before I went to college, I had an eating disorder and I was hospitalized in New York City for 3 months. So I had a lot of struggles. So I think my parents were thinking that they just hope I find something that I can do that's going to keep me out of trouble.
I really appreciate you sharing that, because not everybody wants to tell, what's behind the curtain, right? And actually, that's a question I usually ask later on in my podcast, is tell me about your crash and almost burn story. My book just came out, Crash and Learn, but it's about entrepreneurs like you, where looking at you now, people would say, wow, she's got it going on 24/7, very successful entrepreneur, a young, successful adult. They may think like you are, you've been the full package 24/7 all your life. Right. And so the fact that you just shared that, I think really could be helpful to other entrepreneurs that are, struggling with, could be self-esteem, could be imposter syndrome, it could be confidence in not only in their business life, but their personal life. But to you kept on moving forward, trying different things to find out, what your calling was. You didn't give up. Right. And now, I mean, listen, I look at you now and there's like joy and happiness written all over your face. Right. So I think that's a great testament to, keep on moving forward. Right. And testing out different things, even if it's like, you know what, I hear cupcakes are a trend. Let me try to make a dozen and see what happens. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, even today, like, I don't want to, people to think like everything's sunshine and rainbows all the time. Like, I still get depressed. I still have anxiety. Like, the eating disorder is in check. It's been a long time, but I have to check myself with it. I have to, sometimes it starts to flare up and I have to check myself. So, even though you have you might have found something that you excel at and you have a string of successes, like it doesn't erase, all of the issues that you might struggle with.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it seems like with, your new business, one of your new businesses is that, now that you've sold Dollop, and by the way, you were on Shark Tank, and I mean, we said in your bio, I mean, what incredible success with that, right? I mean, did you have to pinch yourself and say like, I can't believe this is happening? I mean, that's crazy success, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, a lot of the experiences I've had, I would say I did have to pinch myself. Like, these were things I set my sights on and I was like, I really want this experience. And I went after it, and when it was happening, it was pretty surreal, for sure.
I mean, what was the time frame between like you are still working at the car dealership to when you're on Shark Tank?
Oh, that's several years. So first, when I had the bakery, I was on Cupcake Wars, and so I won Cupcake Wars. So that was like my first kind of big publicity thing. And then Shark Tank was like 4 years after that.
Okay. So the Cupcake Wars, was it a few years after you left your, we'll say, real job?
It was, and that was there. I had my big crash and burn actually before Cupcake Wars, and that's a whole story. But that was I had entrusted this guy who said he was an investor, and I let him manage my business because I felt like I couldn't do it on my own, because everyone said you can't do it on your own, like you need help. And he wound up being a con artist, and he stole everything from me. He wiped me clean. People sued me. I had to dissolve the entire business. He went to state prison.
Oh my God.
So it was a really big, really big crash and burn, and I had to start over from scratch. So all of that happened before Cupcake Wars.
Wow. Well, you experienced the entrepreneurial roller coaster early on, right? So, and you didn't burn. You rose like the phoenix, right? And that's why we say crash and learn, because I'll bet every dollar that I had that you'll never partner with somebody like that again. You're probably pretty wary about partnering with anybody these days, right?
That's accurate.
Yeah. Well, no, good for you. I'm sorry that had to happen to you, but and once again, another part of your journey that no one would ever guess, right? Because they see you on Cupcake Wars and Shark Tank and all your success, and I think it's so incredible for people like you to share that, because behind all the success, behind any entrepreneur's curtain, any person's curtain, really, there's some scars and bruises along the way, right? Winston Churchill. His one of my favorite quotes comes from him: "When you're going through hell, don't stop." Right? you got to keep on going forward, and that's actually what Avanti means: move forward. And my previous business was a magazine called Next Step, where we would help high school students with college planning. And so I'm a big believer in, like, don't stop where the pain is. Keep on walking through it, and you'll get through it. And I'm sure that was hell. That must that year, whatever time period that was, of you going through that, you must have woke up every morning and wish that you kept on sleeping, right? Like, how am I going to get through this day? I know a lot of people that have been through that. I've been through some bad partnerships. It's hell, but you get through it. You get through it. And now look what you're doing. You're taking your experiences, good, bad, and ugly, and you're helping others, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good segue into what you're doing now. So you're doing two things right now, right? You have your own website, which is heathersaffer.com, right?
Yes.
Saffer. And then you also have another website called heatherandonald.com. So what do you want to cover first? You're doing two really cool things.
Let's go with heatherandonald.com. It's a passion project.
All right. heatherandonald.com. Tell us about Heather and Donald.
Heather and Donald is named after me, obviously, and my dog Donald, who's a rescue dog, and my best friend. And I just have such a passion for animals, and I've always wanted to do more to help rescue animals and raise money for animals. So I decided to take some of my drawings, some artwork that I do, and put them on apparel and home goods. And 20%, I always say at least 20% of proceeds, because I'm pretty much donating all of it to different rescues every month. Because it's not, I didn't create it as something for me to have a career. And it's really, truly to just use my artwork to raise money for animals.
I love that. And how, I mean, there's so many incredible rescue organizations. Do they come to you? Do you find them? Is it kind of a combination?
So I just started this a couple months ago, so it's brand new. So the donations that I've made so far are pretty much the rescues that I know. And I'm not limiting it to just cats and dogs, although it's very important. Those are the actual first rescues, but I'm trying to use the Instagram and the social media to also raise awareness for other wildlife and animals and animal facts. And I did a post the other day about sea turtles and kind of facts about sea turtles and how you can help sea turtles. So, because I love all animals, so I just want more people to be aware.
Are you a vegan?
I'm a pescatarian.
Okay.
I do eat some fish, and I have celiac, so I can't eat gluten. So I'd love to be vegan, but there's so many other things that I can't eat that it's really tough. So
you got to eat. You got to eat. Now, I have a good friend from college, Peter Nussbaum, and he and his wife started a animal sanctuary. And they rescue pigs and turtles and chickens, and I mean, they have like this whole farm of rescued animals right now.
Where is that?
It's in downstate New York. It's called the Timberland Farm Sanctuary. I'll connect you with him. Yeah, they're doing some great things. He's a lawyer in New York City by day, and then he and his wife at night are doing the whole animal farm sanctuary. Yeah, it's really cool.
That.
Yeah. And I follow him on social media, and it's he'll be holding this this new baby pig or chicken that they've rescued, and they're so cute, right? And it's I don't eat a lot of meat. I try to be plant-based as much as I can, but every time I see one of those cute little pigs he's holding, I'm like, all right, I gotta go plant-based 100%.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. So that is very cool. So if people want to learn more about that and donate, et cetera, or, I mean, they donate, but they actually like buy products from you, right? Yeah. They buy T-shirts, et cetera. And I went to your website this morning, and they're really great stuff. So it's kind of like, oh, she's an artist too, right? So you went from like not making anything in high school to like, wow, like this Renaissance woman. So maybe you're a late bloomer. Is it? Maybe that's fair to say, right?
No. I hope I haven't hit my peak already.
I think you're still on this big incline. Yeah. So then, the other part of your life is, from a professional standpoint, is you are now coaching people that have started business, and I went to that site as well, heathersaffer.com, and I really liked the theme, because it's not, I don't see anyone else addressing it. And you were nailing it. You were like leading with it, but it basically addressing loneliness as an entrepreneur. And not a lot of people talk about that, because we want to put our best face on. Oh, it's great, things are wonderful. Our net profits are up by 30%. Yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, the cameras go off, and a lot of entrepreneurs are very lonely. And I think there's different types of entrepreneurial loneliness, right? There's like, I'm working in my home all day by myself, and I'm just damn lonely. Like, I need to see people. But I also know entrepreneurs that are lonely that have bigger companies, but the employees don't know what the entrepreneur, the CEO, whatever, the owner, it's going through. And they can't talk about it with anybody, payroll, et cetera. Just the stress of running a business. They can't talk, or they don't talk to their team about it. Maybe they could, they should, but they bring it home, and they're very lonely with those thoughts too. So I love that you're addressing that, because I do think it could be very, very debilitating. It could lead to depression and anxiety. We're very social creatures. We need to communicate and talk through things. So tell us a little bit more about that coaching business and how you're really addressing what's going on with being lonely as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, my goal with it is to really help entrepreneurs and leaders, because it's not just entrepreneurs, right? It's, management, anyone who's a leader, really, find their power through loneliness and kind of flip it on its head. The biggest mistakes that I've made are when I felt alone and I felt like I was desperate for help. And those are honestly the biggest mistakes I've made, is when I feel like I'm desperate for help. And I think that there are ways, and I've learned ways to take the feeling of being alone and make it a positive thing, and work through it and find your power in it. And we all need, community and other people, but you don't want to, need other people so badly that you wind up leaning on the wrong people. So when you get to the point where you can find the positives in being alone, and you can find how it builds hardiness and how it makes you more resourceful and it makes you more creative, then when there aren't people around, you don't completely fall apart. You can kind of turn inward, realize that you have an internal locus of control. You can push yourself, you can lean on yourself. This is going to make you better and stronger, and you can move forward, and you're going to be stronger, and you're not going to fall apart when these things happen again.
Was this through some personal experience? Did you have many moments in your entrepreneurial journey that you just felt just damn lonely?
I mean, it's happened a lot. Yeah. I've felt lonely a lot. And I mean, the whole story of my crash and burn, that was not just me feeling alone, but it was other people telling me that I couldn't succeed alone, that I needed help, that I didn't know what I was doing. And so the first person that came along to offer me help, I was like, all right. And, everyone says I need help, so here you are. And he wound up being a con artist. But I mean, there are definitely other times that had happened as well. Not to that extent that, I leaned on someone and they went to state prison after wiping me clean. But even when I took investors later on, like it wasn't the best decision for me. And it stemmed from feeling like I needed help. I couldn't do it on my own, and kind of getting to that point of desperation a bit. And I always said, like, I always wanted, especially when I was starting out, I always wanted to see entrepreneurs who were successful and were, doing what they wanted to do without the help of a husband or a wife or a business partner or family. Because that was me, and I didn't see other examples. And I kept pushing myself to succeed because I was like, I need to be that example that you can do it without, someone in your corner all the time.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that now?
I feel like I did what I wanted to do, and it's not, and even now, like I have a fiance, but he doesn't help me with my business things. Like, I do still feel alone in doing it, but I feel so much stronger, and I know all of the tactics now to make that work for me instead of against me.
Yep. Have you ever joined like a mastermind group or one of these, groups of entrepreneurs that get together monthly and just kind of commiserate and connect?
I have not. No.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more like a real loner.
Right. Maybe you are. Well, maybe we got to find like 5 or 10 people that we can all just get together once a month online and just kind of commiserate. Right. So.
Yeah.
So there's another thing. So with the cupcake business, right? With Dollop, that was a great brand. It was a great company. Do you have anything to do with it anymore? Have you walked away?
I'm still doing some of the social media for it. I wasn't, and then I took it back over again. And I've become pretty close with the new owner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not involved, but I'm still there.
It's your baby, right? But you don't own it anymore.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, and so I want to address that because that a lot of entrepreneurs, that baby that they birth becomes, like who they are. That's like their identity, mm-hmm. right? Like, you were the Dollop person, right? And you created a really iconic brand, not only with the name of the company, but you, right? Like people knew you because of Cupcake Wars, because of Shark Tank, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs have a tough time like walking away from that identity, right? Like you kind of, for all intents and purposes, burned the bridge and or burned the boat and built a new boat. And how was that? How was that walking away from this brand that you literally created from nothing, that you birthed, and saying, all right, here you go, and then going to start over, really?
I will say it's really difficult, but maybe not for the reasons you're thinking. I didn't think of it as my baby. I mean, I guess it was, and it was my whole life, especially for a very long time, and I had been doing it for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so walking away from it was what I wanted, and it was hard. But the hardest part is it was my identity. And I think the hardest part is not convincing or like showing myself that I'm something without it, but it's kind of like getting other people onto the same boat as me. And, trying to do something different when everyone thinks of you as one thing and you're like, well, no, wait, hey, I'm not that anymore. Like I'm over here. And that it's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take some time, right?
Yeah.
You know, from going from the, the cupcake person to, the person that is coaching loneliness and, rescuing animals, right? So, but I think what ultimately happens is you become known as just like a really great entrepreneur that is, impacting the world, in different ways during different stages of your life. So, do you still make cupcakes for fun on your own?
No.
No, you've had enough, huh?
Yeah, see, that's the hard part is like I'm so completely done with the cupcakes,
You
but
just cut that out too.
other people aren't done with me being done with the cupcakes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Enough of the cupcakes already.
I eat dessert every night. Like
Yeah. All right.
oh yeah, but I like to go to, there's a great gluten-free bakery here that I've become friendly with the owner, and just because I feel like I have to be friendly with bakery owners because I
Right.
go so often, and I go there probably once a week to get
Right.
to. So I still like going to bakeries. I just
Yeah.
don't really bake anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. You've had enough. Right. What
Yeah.
about like walking into a bakery? Have people like recognize you? Like, oh my God, that's the woman from Dollop.
No,
That
no,
hasn't happened. Yeah.
no.
Uh,
I'm not outside of Rochester.
I was going to say maybe just Rochester because you were,
Yeah.
we were proud of you. Like you made it big, right? So, yeah. And you're very modest about it, though. I love it. So, excellent. So these new ventures, I know you said Heather and Donald is very new, and the coaching business is very new as well.
Yeah, actually, I haven't told anyone about the website yet.
Okay, all right. Well, let's launch it here first, right? And it's your name, right?
Yeah, I finished putting it together a couple of weeks ago, and I still haven't
Yeah.
told anyone about it. So,
Well, folks, visit heathersaffer.com, and it's fantastic, right? So, and it's Saffer. Everybody wants to, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, and we'll have it in the show notes and the whole works too. So, well, Heather, this has been super, super massively fantastic. Totally appreciate your time and sharing your story, the whole roller coaster ride. And I didn't know a lot of that stuff behind the curtain, and I appreciate that you share it because, like I said, I'll say it again. I think it truly helps other entrepreneurs that are going through the highs and lows of being a business owner, and it's not all, lollipops and puppy dogs, or whatever that saying is. There's good, bad, ugly. And if you're a true entrepreneur, for some reason, it becomes your drug of choice, right? I mean, it's like you're a glutton for the punishment, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could picture going to work for somebody else at this point, but maybe you don't have to. But it's just like I feel like you'll be an incredible entrepreneur for many, many years to come. Many, many more businesses ahead of you.
Thank you, David. You're so kind.
I'm just speaking the truth. Well, Heather, thank you so much. If people do want to get in touch with you and learn more, or just maybe ask you some questions, what's the best way to do that?
They can email me at heather@heatheranddonald.com, or they can find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Yep. All right. Excellent. Well, we appreciate that. Heather, thanks again. I wish you continued massive success. And I want you to know if I find out that you were, coming back and visiting Rochester and you didn't, throw me an email to have at least coffee with you, I'm going to be very upset.
Okay, noted, because I will be there
soon. All right. Thanks again, Heather. And I also want to thank you, the Avanti family, for listening and or watching. This is our, I think we're almost up to 200 episodes now. I've been doing this for 4 years every week. So thank you for listening and watching. If you want to see this one again, listen to this one again, or see any of our other almost 200 podcasts, go to AvantiEntrepreneur.com, AvantiEntrepreneur.com. Thank you so much again. Have a great day and stay awesome.